I do at my training something called the Four Futures, and it talks about what life is like going forward. So, what I would like to do is talk about how things have changed, because there's kind of a new set of futures now for what's with given the current situation. Normally, we talk about where we are today, and we talk about where we are in maybe 3 years. At this point, let's just call it the future. So somewhere in the future, and I've talked about that we don't get to, let me show you the classic model first, and then I'll show you how things change today. So we can't control the fact that no matter what, we're moving ahead. If it's 2020 this year, next year's 2021, then it'll be 2022. We have no choice, but we know we are heading in this direction, right? Because time waits for absolutely nobody. So what we can change, though, is what happens to our future. Remember, this is classically how I think about it. We might wind up with our ideal future. We might just have an okay future. Or if things don't go so well, we could have poor performance in the future or an utter and complete disaster in the future. Normally, I'll add some financial numbers to these as well. So with the ideal future, I think, well, what if we add 100 grand to our bottom line in the next 3 years, let's say? For an okay future, what if we just add 50,000? But if things don't go so well, what happens if we start to lose money? Well, what if we lose 50 grand? Or worse, what if we just bottom out in bankruptcy? These are all potentials for the future. And normally I would tell you that from where we are today, we might have an ideal future. We might have an okay future. But if things don't go so well, it could be poor or a complete disaster. All of those are possibilities for what the future can hold. And so if we sit here today in March of 2021 or 2020, and we want to get up onto this line, this is the gap that we need to cross. But if we wait, oh, I don't know, a year, and it's now March 2021, what happened to our gap? It got a lot bigger. And if we wait even longer, because most people have been waiting to get involved in real estate for longer than they realize, we wind up in 2022 and we have now an enormous gap. We've got this big giant gap that is much bigger than if we were to take action today. So that's normally the way I look at the four futures. But I think given coronavirus, some things have changed and we now need to account for some of those changes. And here's how I'm seeing it currently. Let's go back to our future timeline. We're here today, and we have a untold future, which we all kind of know. Well, I think that there will be a certain point where the virus will end. I don't know exactly where that's going to be, but for the time being, I'd say it's somewhere in this zone. Somewhere in the future, we'll have a cure, we'll have a way around it, we'll know what to do, we'll have a treatment, we'll have a vaccine, we're going to have something. We know that's going to happen. So let's kind of mark that out for where it is in the future. Well, if you think about what happens to people, there will be people who follow a path like this into the future because they did the right things. So they travel along. At some point, they'll hit that mark, and then the business will continue to go up because they did the right things. Now, there are some people that are going to panic and not do anything right. They're going to, in fact, I'll give them a yellow line. I think the panic people head in this direction because they panicked too much. There'll be some people who absolutely do nothing. And I think they'll bottom out here because they've done nothing. Then you'll probably have a lot of people that do something. It's not necessarily the right things, but they do something. So let's see, let's give the somethings blue. They do something and they're not sure what's happening, but they're heading into the future. Now, blue is something. If you think about what's happening here, at a certain point, where will you be? as we hit this line of the future, as we hit that line, what is it that we're aiming for? Do you want to be here when we figure things out, so you're doing the right things and continue to move up? Do you want to be on the something line where sometimes you're below the line, sometimes you're above the line, sometimes you're right at the line, but nothing much is really happening? And then I would argue you certainly don't want to be here where things get worse for you, and you certainly don't want to be having nothing. So the time to act, to readjust your business, to retool your business, and to refocus on your marketing is now. Because I would argue that there's another line here, and that's for people that do all the right things. If you do all the right things now, you can be securing this future so that when we hit this point, when you hit the point that you're crossing the line where we solve coronavirus, you're in phenomenally better shape than everybody else who's playing catch up. Because something's going to be doing catch up, the panic people will be doing catch up, and the people who have done nothing are going to have to try to come back from failure. So I view the future situation that way. Now, how exactly are we going to pull that off? There are three things you got to focus on in your business. I view it something like this. There are three P's in order to succeed. The first P is you got to learn how to protect. Protect yourself, protect your business, protect your income. That's a matter of marketing. If you want your business to be protected, you've got to get out there now and be doing deals. You got to be getting out there now, not worrying about all the stuff on the news, not worrying about whether a cure has been found yet, not worrying about everything being shut down, and not believing that everything has come to a standstill. Because you saw plenty of evidence a few moments ago that it's anything but the case. People are doing deals now. You need to be doing deals now. It's a matter of getting your marketing right so that you protect yourself and your business going forward. But in order to do that, you're going to have to learn how to pivot. Yes, certain things are going to change. There's a change coming, and we have to appreciate that as well. You're going to have to pivot on certain things. So yeah, property inspections are going to be a little bit different, aren't they? You're probably not going to meet the person at the house and have them walk you around. You're probably not going to shake hands with a motivated seller. You may not even sit in the same room as the motivated seller for the time being until this all blows over. So part of our business is going to pivot, and we've got to be able to pivot with it. That's what we will do to protect our profits. We have to protect our business, pivot in our business, and still manage to profit in our business. So protect, pivot, and profit is what I want our that's what I want our theme to be. I want us to understand that that is what is indeed happening, and that's what's going to take place. So that's what I'm thinking graphically, how this plays out and how this looks for the future. That's the future flow. Those are our required actions. And if you'd like to learn exactly how I plan to do this and how I plan to teach my students to pivot, to profit, and to protect their business and thrive during these extremely uncertain times, I'm going to be teaching wholesaling. How can you get deals done in 60 days? All day long, my one-day rapid cash generator masterclass on wholesaling, done completely online on Zoom, just like we are now. We'll have the same degree to interact. We'll still be able to talk, and you'll be able to sit comfortably wherever you are. We'll still have breaks, right? We'll send you off for lunch. Have your lunch nearby. You can have a drink. Everything will be a piece of cake. We'll do it on Zoom, just like this meeting. Spend the day with me. Go to the website. You go to tractionrea.com/Tom, or click on any of the links throughout the site for the masterclass. The regular price of the masterclass is $49 for members and $89 for non-members. If you want to learn how to be making deals, like how to find the deals through marketing, negotiate great deals through marketing, and how to control those deals and get paid, even in the midst of COVID-19 and coronavirus. This is the place to be. We will get all the foundational aspects of your business down and down pat, and we will get you so that you are hitting the ground sprinting no matter where we are, no matter where you function, and no matter where we are in terms of the virus. This is not the time to retreat and hide. This is the time to get out there and help people more than ever.